Trying to conceive. Gosh, such a journey, isn't it? So many people are on this path, and it's filled with, hope and excitement. But also, let's be real, it can get pretty emotional, challenging sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. You feel like you're doing everything you can, maybe, but
Yeah.
things just aren't lining up.
Exactly. And there are just countless factors, so many things that feel
Huh.
totally out of your control,
That helplessness, yeah. It can be really tough.
which is exactly why we wanted to dive into this today. Because while, we can't control everything, there are definitely some key areas where making like mindful everyday choices can really make a difference.
Mm-hmm. Things you actually can influence.
Yeah. We're going to unpack how simple lifestyle things, what you eat, drink, your daily habits, how they can quietly but pretty powerfully impact fertility.
And for this deep dive, we're drawing on some really valuable practical info shared by the Berkeley Center for Reproductive Wellness. They're based in New York City.
Right. And their insights give us a kind of roadmap, don't they, for the things you can actively change.
Exactly. So our goal here really is to just distill the key takeaways from what they've shared.
What does the Berkeley Center source tell us are the most impactful lifestyle changes you can make? And a critical point they stress is that it's not just about one person.
No, definitely not. Fertility hinges on the health of both the eggs and the sperm. So it's very much a team effort.
Totally, a combined effort. Okay, so where do we start? The Berkeley Center highlights, I think, food and drink first.
Yeah, that's the first big category. And it makes sense. It's foundational, things we consume every single day.
And they might be sort of subtly working against conception without us even realizing it.
Precisely. One of the strongest points they make right off the bat is about cutting way back on highly processed foods and excess sugar.
Okay, so we're talking things like fast food, sodas.
Yep. Fast food, sugary sodas, candy, pastries, those processed meats, and anything really high in trans fats. They specifically call out like packaged snacks and fried foods.
Got it. And how does this stuff impact fertility? Does it differ for men and women?
It does, and that's what's interesting in how the Berkeley Center breaks it down. For women, a diet high in sugar and processed stuff can lead to something called insulin resistance.
Insulin resistance where your body isn't using insulin properly, right?
Exactly, and that can really mess with ovulation, especially if you're dealing with conditions like PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome.
Okay.
And the source also notes that those trans fats, they drive up inflammation in the body.
Inflammation. Bad for fertility.
Yeah, it can negatively affect egg quality and even the ability of an embryo to actually implant in the uterus.
Wow. Okay. It's also connected.
Yeah.
What about for men? How do those same foods hit them?
Well, the Berkeley Center's info suggests these foods can significantly reduce sperm count
Okay.
and impair how well the sperm move, that's motility,
Yeah.
and even lead to poorly shaped sperm. Plus, the weight gain that often comes with these diets.
Right.
That can lower testosterone, which is absolutely essential for healthy sperm production.
So their little real-life tip makes a lot of sense then. That daily donut or the quick fast food run, it might seem harmless, but over time.
Over time, yeah. It could genuinely be making it harder to conceive. It's that cumulative effect.
Right, it adds up. Okay, moving on. What about caffeine? My morning coffee.
Yeah, yes. Our beloved caffeine. The source does flag too much caffeine as something to watch.
And how much is too much, according to them?
Generally, they put it at over 200 to 300 milligrams a day. So roughly, that's more than maybe 1 or 2 standard cups of coffee.
Okay, 1 to 2 cups. And why is that a potential issue? For women first.
For women, they indicate that consistently high levels might potentially delay ovulation.
Delay ovulation.
And maybe increase the risk of miscarriage, particularly in early pregnancy.
And for men, does it hurt sperm?
The Berkeley Center notes that, yeah, large amounts might impact sperm quality, though they do add that the research on the male side is a bit more mixed, not totally conclusive.
So it sounds like maybe err on the side of caution. Their suggestion is just a simple swap.
Pretty much. Maybe trade that second coffee or definitely an energy drink for something like herbal tea or just plain water. Seems like an easy adjustment to make.
Yeah, that feels doable. Okay, next on their list, alcohol.
Right. Alcohol. Their recommendation here is about limiting intake.
Limiting to how much?
The guideline they mention is no more than 1 drink per day for women and no more than 2 drinks per day for men.
Okay, and what's the mechanism? How does alcohol interfere?
Well, according to the Berkeley Center, for women, alcohol can disrupt that really delicate balance of reproductive hormones.
The hormones again.
Yeah, and potentially damage egg quality. And like caffeine, it might raise the risk of miscarriage.
Okay, and for men?
For men, it's linked to lower testosterone, it affects sperm quality, and it can also contribute to erectile issues.
So the simple shift they suggest is pretty straightforward then.
Very. Cutting back significantly or even stopping altogether while you're trying to conceive is highlighted as one of the easiest, most direct ways to support your reproductive health.
Makes sense. Very actionable. Now, the source also mentions something about soy. Excess soy.
Yes, they bring up excess soy, advising particular caution for men if they're consuming large amounts daily. Things like soy milk, tofu, soy-based supplements.
Why soy specifically? Especially for men.
The Berkeley Center points out that soy contains these plant compounds, phytoestrogens.
Right, I've heard of those.
They can kind of mimic estrogen in the body. So in high doses, especially for men, this might potentially reduce testosterone levels and sperm production.
Interesting. And for women?
For women, they suggest some people with hormone-sensitive conditions may want to limit intake, but the emphasis from the source seems a bit stronger on the potential male impact from really high amounts.
Okay, so the advice isn't never eat soy again, but maybe if it's your go-to protein every single day.
Exactly. Maybe add some variety, rotate in other things like beans, lentils, quinoa. It's more about balance if you're eating a lot of it regularly.
Gotcha. And one more on the food list.
Yeah.
Fish high in mercury.
Yes, the source warns against fish that are known to be high in mercury.
Which ones do they call out?
They list shark, swordfish, king mackerel, and tilefish. Mercury is a heavy metal, it can build up.
Right. And why is that bad for fertility?
For women, mercury can negatively affect egg quality, and crucially, it could harm a developing baby if you do conceive.
Okay, that's serious.
And for men, it's been linked to damage in the sperm's DNA and also lower fertility rates overall.
So better choices would be?
Go for the low mercury options. Things like salmon, sardines, shrimp. You still get those amazing healthy fats like omega-3s, but without that mercury risk.
Good swap. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Beyond diet, the Berkeley Center source also really emphasizes avoiding recreational drugs. Completely.
Yes, this is a strong recommendation from them when you're trying to conceive.
Let's start with marijuana or cannabis. What's the source's take on that and fertility?
Their perspective is pretty clear. For women, they state that cannabis use might disrupt the timing of ovulation and could interfere with an embryo implanting. And for men, the THC component is linked to reduced sperm count and motility, how they swim lower testosterone, and changes in sperm shape.
So the bottom line there is?
The bottom line from the source is really that even casual use could be impacting your fertility journey. Their recommendation is to pause while you're trying.
Pretty direct message.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about tobacco and nicotine? That covers smoking, vaping, chew.
Yeah, the whole range. And this is another area the source flags with really significant negative impacts.
How so for women?
For women, smoking directly damages the eggs themselves. It essentially shortens your reproductive lifespan, and it also harms the uterine lining, which makes implantation harder.
Wow. And for men?
It negatively affects sperm count, damages their DNA quality, and can impair sexual function too.
So the takeaway is huge here.
Massive. Quitting for both partners can have a really big positive impact. And they also specifically say avoid secondhand smoke too. That's important.
Good point. And finally, in this category, they mention other street drugs, cocaine, meth, things like that.
Yes, and the source emphasizes severe consequences here.
Severe how?
They state these substances severely disrupt hormone regulation. They can actually stop ovulation entirely in women and cause significant harm to reproductive organs.
Gosh.
And for men, they're described as basically destroying sperm health, lowering libido, and potentially leading to infertility.
So the note they add is crucial.
Absolutely vital. These drugs are dangerous, period. For fertility, for overall health.
Yeah.
The source stresses seeking professional support if you need help quitting.
Couldn't agree more. Okay, let's transition now. There are other key lifestyle habits a Berkeley Center source highlights that can potentially hurt fertility, right?
Yes. Moving beyond substances. The first one they tackle is maintaining a healthy weight. They specifically point to the extremes.
Extremes meaning too low or too high.
Exactly. Being significantly underweight, they define that as a BMI below 18.5 or significantly overweight with a BMI over 30.
And how do these weight extremes cause problems for fertility?
Well, for women, being either too thin or carrying too much extra weight can disrupt hormone production so much that ovulation might just shut down or become very irregular.
Okay.
And for men, excess weight is linked pretty clearly to lower testosterone levels and can also cause damage to sperm.
But the tip here offers some hope, right? It's not like you have to hit a perfect weight overnight.
Right. The source suggests that even modest weight loss, like just 5 to 10% of your current body weight if you're overweight, can often be enough to help regulate hormones and improve outcomes.
That feels much more achievable. A positive step.
It's about creating a healthier environment. Next up, they discuss overtraining, exercising too much.
Overtraining. Can you really exercise too much when you're trying to conceive? I thought exercise was always good.
You can, according to the source, particularly for women. They're talking about excessive or intensely frequent workouts like daily long-distance running or maybe HII sessions every single day without rest.
Okay, so extreme levels. How does that hurt?
For women, exercising that intensely without enough fuel or rest can actually lower body fat levels too far. And that directly impacts the hormone production needed for ovulation. For men, very intense training might slightly reduce testosterone, but the impact is usually seen as less significant than in women.
So the advice isn't stop exercising. It's more about finding a middle ground.
Exactly. Moderation. Their tip suggests sticking to maybe 30 to 60 minutes of moderate movement, things like walking, yoga, strength training, most days of the week.
Balance, not burnout.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, and another big one. Chronic stress.
Huge one. Chronic stress is definitely flagged.
How does ongoing stress actually get in the way of conception? What's the mechanism?
The Berkeley Center explains that high levels of cortisol, the stress hormone circulating constantly,
Right.
can actually interrupt ovulation in women and can also interfere with the implantation process even if fertilization happens.
Wow. And for men?
For men, that ongoing stress can lower testosterone and also dampen libido.
So managing stress is key. What do they suggest?
Really practical things, actually. Simple stuff like practicing deep breathing exercises, making time for daily walks, maybe considering therapy to build healthy coping skills. It's about finding active ways to reduce that cortisol load.
Good advice. What about toxins, environmental exposures?
Yes, toxin exposure is also on their list of habits to try and minimize. They mention avoiding things like BPA, often found in plastics.
Right, the water bottles and containers.
Exactly. Also pesticides on produce and heavy metals like lead.
And why are these environmental things a worry for fertility?
The source indicates they can act as endocrine disruptors.
Meaning they mess with your hormones.
Basically, yeah, they interfere with hormone signals, and that can affect egg quality in women. For men, these toxins are linked to damage in sperm DNA and also reduce sperm count.
Okay, so what are the simple swaps they suggest?
Things like opting for glass or stainless steel food containers instead of plastic, and washing fruits and vegetables really thoroughly to get rid of pesticide residue. Small changes, big impact potentially.
Seems manageable. And finally, sleep, or lack thereof.
Yes, poor sleep.
Oh.
They define this as consistently getting less than, say, 7 to 8 hours a night, or having a really erratic sleep schedule. Bedtime all over the place.
Sleep feels like it underlies everything, doesn't it?
It really does. The Berkeley Center highlights that good sleep is just crucial for regulating all those reproductive hormones that govern cycles in women. Poor sleep can throw everything off.
And for men.
Inadequate sleep has been shown to reduce testosterone and negatively impact sperm health as well.
So, better sleep habits are important. What do they recommend?
Trying to wind down around the same time each night, create a routine, reducing screen time right before bed. That blue light isn't helpful.
Guilty.
Yeah, me too sometimes. And just making sure your bedroom is a calm, dark, cool space conducive to sleep, prioritizing consistent quality sleep.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground: foods, substances, habits. You might be listening and thinking, wow, that's a lot to keep track of. Why does focusing on all these details really matter so much?
It's a great question. The Berkeley Center source really emphasizes that fertility is fundamentally a delicate system. It's profoundly shaped by your hormone balance, by the quality of both your eggs and your sperm, and just your overall general well-being.
Right. So when you actively work to reduce or ideally eliminate these common obstacles and stressors that the source identifies, you're not guaranteeing success overnight.
No, there are no guarantees in fertility.
But you are creating the best possible biological environment, right?
Yeah.
Giving your body the strongest foundation to conceive and hopefully carry a healthy pregnancy.
Exactly. It's about empowering yourself by optimizing the factors you can actually control.
So for getting started, because looking at that whole list might feel, overwhelming.
Totally understandable.
Right.
And the source offers some really practical advice here.
Their main suggestion is,
Take it step by step. Don't try to revamp your entire life tomorrow. Just pick one or two areas that resonate most or seem easiest to tackle first and build from there.
okay, small steps.
Yeah.
I like that.
And they really, really reiterate that it's a team effort. If you have a partner, making these changes together, it just makes them more sustainable.
And probably strengthens your connection through what can be a really challenging process, right?
Absolutely. Shared goals, mutual support, it's huge.
They also strongly recommend consulting with professionals, don't they?
Yes, a fertility doctor, obviously, but maybe also an acupuncturist who specializes in fertility or a registered dietitian or nutritionist. They can provide tailored advice that's specific to your individual health picture.
Right. This deep dive gives the overview from the source, but that personalized guidance is key.
Incredibly valuable. And one last tip they offer: track your progress.
Crack how?
Not just fertility signs, but notice how these changes make you feel. Are you sleeping better? Do you have more energy? Is your mood improving?
Focusing on overall well-being, too.
Yeah, noticing those positive shifts can really reinforce your efforts and keep you motivated, even when the main goal takes time.
That's great advice. Look, navigating the path to conception, it can be really challenging. The Berkeley Center source acknowledges that.
Yeah.
But by focusing on taking control of the choices that are within your influence, armed with insights like these, well, that's powerful.
It really is. Every positive change you make contributes physically, emotionally, and in building that strong foundation for your future family. Stay encouraged. Be patient with yourself in the process.
And remember, you absolutely don't have to go through this alone. There's support out there.
Definitely.
So, as you think about everything we've discussed in this deep dive, drawing from the Berkeley Center's insights, here's maybe a final thought to leave you with.
Okay.
If making even small, consistent, positive changes in your daily habits can significantly impact something as fundamental and sometimes seemingly complex as your ability to conceive, what other areas of your health and your well-being might be far more within your influence, far more within your control than you currently realize? Something to think about.